70 of the Restoration Fitness 90-Day Healthy Habits Challenge. We're going to get into a topic of flexibility today. Flexibility is important to be able to have an optimal axis of rotation throughout the joints of our body, but additionally it helps us contract our muscles at an optimal level as well. Essentially, our muscles are made with a ratcheting system that basically has a claw that pulls the muscles into a contraction continuously as we go in and out of flexion and extension throughout our body. These muscles, some of them fast twitch, some of them slow, need an optimal level to lengthen so that it has enough ability to ratchet through the contraction to produce enough force for movement. Flexibility also helps us reduce stress, and in addition to that, helps our movements just feel better in general throughout our life. It also helps us with improving our posture and correcting some imbalances that might be present in our body. We're going to start today with 2 stretches for the lower body, some of the more important muscles of the hamstring and quadriceps. So, you'll need a towel today and something to support your leg on. It could be a couch or a wall or even your own stability ball. Starting with the hamstring, you're going to lay flat on your back. And using your towel, you're going to put your foot through the towel as you're laying flat on your back. The bottom leg is going to be straight with the toes pointed towards the ceiling. In this position, you're going to make sure that the bottom leg is nice and strong so that your hips are moving in opposition to one another. Your pelvis is going to stay fairly rocked down towards the floor. We don't want to see it pulling off the ground of the leg that's pulling. The more that the towel is on the ball of your foot up high here, the more you're going to feel it pulling into your calf and maybe the back of your knee. This isn't a bad thing, it's just something to be aware of because we're trying to get pretty much all of the back of the leg, so we want to include the hamstring as well. So I'm going to put this in the middle of my foot, again making sure that the foot is fairly flat. We don't want it rotated in or out. And we're going to try to get our leg as straight as possible. You don't necessarily need to lock it out because again we're going to be getting a little bit more into the nerve and the calf from that position. But you want to try to make sure it's nice and straight. From here we're going to be pulling straight towards your face, essentially with your thigh. We're going to be thinking about moving from the hip joint. If you're wanting to get a little bit more into stretching for the inner thigh, you're going to let your leg fall to the side, keeping your opposite hip close to the ground. Or if you want to get more of the outer thigh, you're going to pull the leg across your body to the midline to get more of the outer hip and hamstring. Again, if we want to get more into the hamstring at a higher level, we're going to bend the knee even further and pull up higher. That's just a few stretches for the hamstring group itself. Moving into the quad, you're going to now place the towel, so it's a cushion for your knee, onto the floor, and we're going to prop your back foot up on the wall. You want to get it up pretty close. We're going to take the back leg and push through towards the ground. This front leg is positioned so that the knee is directly over the ankle, and the hands will be placed flat on the floor. From this position, I'm moving in opposition between my hips once again, and I'm pushing down towards the ground. If you're wanting to, again, get a little bit deeper stretch into the front of the hip here with the TFL and the hip flexor, the rectus femoris coming into the ASIS, or the front of the pelvis, we're going to be just pushing gently into the ground, holding this position for maybe 60 to 90 seconds. All of the stretches for the groups of the thigh, including the hamstring and the quadriceps, should be held for approximately 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Fairly long stretches because these muscles take a while to relax through their muscle spindles. Another position in this stretch that'll get more into the deep quadriceps is to come up tall in this position with your front foot forward, knee over the ankle, and your hips over your back knee. But now we're going to try to level out the hips, so we're going to push into the bent knee, and we're going to try to get our hips to push forward, tucking through the pelvis. I can feel this nice and deep through this front thigh. It's a wonderful stretch for the quad. For those of you who may have kneecap pain, you just want to be aware of not putting too much pressure through this bottom knee, and you definitely want to have this padding, and you're only going to probably be able to come up as far as your knee will allow for now. I hope that helps. I'll see you tomorrow.